Austin Butler, welcome to Australia.
Feels so good to be here.
You've been here for years.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations on a legendary performance. Can I be the first person to say I don't think you'd made a very good Elvis? I just want to be the first and only person to say that to you.
Wonderful, it's nice.
It is really freaky sitting here and looking at you, having watched the film, and just being blown away by how immersed you are in this icon of rock and roll, of pop culture. Have you watched the film?
I saw it in Cannes for the first time.
What is that like to see yourself up there? Are you convinced by your performance?
It's wild because I hadn't seen much of it at all. I'd seen a trailer and I'd seen some ADR as we were doing post-production. So I went into it not knowing what the film was gonna be. And because we had 4 cameras going at any one point, you don't know which setup Baz is gonna go with, or we did the scenes so many different ways, so you don't quite know what the emotional arc is gonna be. So it was amazing to get to watch. And for the most part, when I watch myself, I can't really, I have a really hard time. But with this, for whatever reason, I was able to watch it more as an audience member. And maybe because a lot of time had passed and I saw less of myself than I've seen before, so I could kind of witness it. And there's always things that I nitpick about, but just getting to, just in my own performance always. But I really, it was such a magical night, getting to see it with my family and all the people that made the film with me, and then all these people that I'd never met before who received it so well at the end. It just was magical.
What goes through your head in that 12 minutes where there's the film's just played, it's the first time you've really seen yourself as
Yeah, I still was processing the film, you know? Yeah. And then there's the moment where the camera's on you and you at a certain point you kind of go, okay, all right. Yeah, it's like when somebody's staring at you for a long time. But it was so much love in the room that it's hard not to just feel really warm. I'd look over and see Guillermo del Toro, and he just was beaming, and it was surreal. I can't even believe that it was a real night.
I'm getting a buzz off you, having a buzz from it. It was wild to watch. Baz leant over at one point and whispered something to you. Do you remember what he said, or it's all a blur?
Oh yeah, that was a little private moment. Just it's that thing where you, while you're making any film, you don't know what the outcome's gonna be. And so a lot of it for us was, we said very early on, we gotta revel in the process because you don't know what the outcome's gonna be. You don't know how it's gonna be received or anything. So in moments like that, it's about, it's kind of just that thing of, I can't believe we've gone on this ride. Yeah. And here we are and we're finally seeing the film, you know?
On the show this morning on Sunrise when you were in studio, I think Baz talked about the COVID shutdown and you refused to, you went, I'm not going anywhere. Can you talk us through that kind of process of where your head was at in terms of, no?
Yeah, I built so much momentum in the preparation process. And I knew that if I went back to the States that I would potentially lose that. And I didn't, in a way, I was so immersed that I didn't want to go back and suddenly be in the real world. I didn't want to have things reminding me of home in a way. So I could just stay in it, and I just treated that time as this uninterrupted time of preparation. And what a beautiful place to be. Getting to walk an Australian beach every day, it was just glorious. So that was some of the happiest times of my life.
I love it.
Yeah.
When you're watching the film and you picture you as Austin turning up to work each day, and there's moments where you're kissing all the girls and there's the adulation that presumably is a great day on set, and there's other days where there's heartache and trauma and you're faced in a bucket of ice water. What was your best moment on set, the day that you'll cherish forever?
Best moment.
The first time you wiggled in the pink satin jumpsuit?
Yeah, I had a moment. 68 Special was the first thing that I filmed as far as performances go. We'd filmed one scene prior, and then suddenly I'm walking out there doing one of the most iconic performances Elvis ever did, as well as one of the most iconic rock and roll moments of history. And you feel so much pressure. and I was so nervous, and I'd done all this preparation, and suddenly here's the moment of truth where I got to get out there, and everything's coming to this moment. And I've talked about it before, but that feeling of where everything feels like it's on the line. But that's how Elvis felt, because his whole career was on the line at that point. So rather than trying to push away all that fear and stuff, I just took it into channeling into the music and into affecting the audience. And there was a moment where it felt like a complete out-of-body experience, where when I felt genuine emotion from the crowd, and I look down and I see the leather and I see the set that's identical to the one that he was on. And it was this really, I just completely felt this transcendental moment where it went beyond what I thought that moment could be. And it was really special.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that.
There were so many moments like that, but that was the very first, so it was really monumental for me.
Working with Tom Hanks,
Yeah.
did that take a little while to, not say, oh, Forrest Gump, or, Wilson?
Yeah. I'm sort of letting myself do that now. The other day we had this Italian interview, and I'm sitting next to him, and they had a retrospective. And so there's Forrest Gump and Castaway and Saving Private Ryan and all these things. And I just kept looking at him going, that's you, out loud. And he's going, I remember that one, I remember that. And so now I'm kind of letting that happen, because during the process, it was more the anticipation of meeting him the first time where I thought, I'm gonna be speaking of Tom Hanks. I mean, I've never known a time in my life I didn't know who he was. And if
you're gonna meet
part
Woody
of my family.
from Toy Story.
Yeah, and you hear his laugh down the room and you hear Woody. That's the craziest thing. He's got the most iconic laugh. So he honestly was so open and vulnerable from the first second that I met him. He gave me this enormous hug, and he talked about his fears and the whole process, and I talked about mine, and suddenly we were able to just collaborate. And I still, every day, I'd look at him and go, you're actually Tom Hanks. This is crazy. But by the time that we were filming, because of COVID, we also had 2 separate hair and makeup rooms. And so by the time we got on set, he was Colonel Parker and I was Elvis.
Wow.
There was, we hardly ever saw each other not in the full get-up. And so that sort of added to this feeling of not seeing Tom, and him not seeing me. And so I think that helped.
That's wild. Well, congratulations on a phenomenal performance. I'd sit here all day if I could, but a lot of people to talk to.
Well, we'll talk again another time.
Congratulations. Thanks, Austin. Cheers.
Nice to see you, man.
Thanks, man. You too. Well done.
Yeah, I like your outfit today as well.
Thank you.
I like this all black.
I was
It's cool.
trying to go for the, the TV special with the black
Yeah,
leather.
it's strong. It's a strong look.
Cool.